This is the new Land Rover Defender OCTA. I think the best way to understand this car is to think of it as a Defender SVR. It's just that for some reason JLR's got rid of the SVR badge and instead come up with this new name, OCTA. The Defender is, of course, all about off-road capability. So this OCTA variant is basically supposed to be the ultimate version of a Defender and thus the ultimate off-roader. And to put that statement to the test, Land Rover invited me to South Africa to do 500 miles behind the wheel of this car, both on and off-road. So yes, hello one and all, welcome to Seen Through Glass. Welcome to an epic adventure in the new Defender OCTA.
Well, I'm kick-starting this adventure in Cape Town. And it's funny because I'd say all versions of this Defender are mega off-road. I think I could go and explore Africa in a diesel Defender 90 and I'd be absolutely fine. But whilst they're all super capable off-road, they've also become such good all-rounders, so versatile. You end up seeing loads of these things in cities, in urban environments like this. They're just so popular and such good cars to live with. And even this, the OCTA, which is supposedly the king of the off-roading Defenders, it's beefed up, it's ready for end-of-the-world type trips, well, it still looks kind of perfect parked outside a major hotel in a major city, which I guess is just a reflection of how good a job Land Rover have done with this Defender, I suppose. Anyway, quick apologies for my voice. I am still recovering from a pretty hectic man flu. I know it's annoying. There's literally nothing I can do. We've got a big adventure ahead of us. I'll try and rest my voice in between takes, I don't know. But I am super excited to get out of the city and push this thing and see what it's all about. So let's go. This is something I love about Cape Town and South Africa. I'm like an hour outside of the city and look at this scenery and look at this road. It's Baines Kloof Pass, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. It was built way back in 1853 and it is just a glorious piece of tarmac and I cannot believe how good this OCTA is to drive up it. If I saw a road like this in kind of any other... There's a baboon! I saw there's more baboons! Okay, I'm going to have to take a photo of the baboon. Oh, there's so many baboons. This is so exciting. I'm in Africa, in a Defender. Hi! Okay, I should probably drive a little bit slower. I was going to say I can't believe how fast this Defender is up here because any other Defender on a road like this, you'd be pootling. Even in the V8 variant, which has the, I guess, old school 5-litre supercharged V8, this is a very different engine. It uses the same 4.4-litre twin-turbo V8 that we saw in the Range Rover Sport SV and the old M5, and it is a powerhouse. We're talking like 620-odd horsepower in this thing, but it's just the vibe of the engine, that beautiful 5-litre V8, which I adore. It's It feels old school. This thing is just a performance machine. And then on top of that, we've got this incredible 60 dynamic suspension, which again, we experience in the Range Rover Sport SV. And it makes this car a whole different thing. Like, it actually goes around the corner, like, pretty well. I'm driving this car up this road as if it were a sports car, not what I believe could be 10-ton SUV. I know it's not that heavy, but it's a Land Rover Defender. It makes no sense. And this is just the beginning. As I say, I'm an hour into this adventure and oh my God, this thing is sensational. How am I doing this? And then look at these views. Oh, this is going to be a great day. This is going to be a very good day. This car should not be able to do this, by the way. It really should not be able to do this. Yeah, that's a great almond milk cortado. I mean, I'm gonna get another one of those. That's a vibe. Welcome to Homegrown Bakery in Ceres, I think. Quite far north of Cape Town now, but we've stopped here for coffee, also to get some food, because I believe after this, we're not going off-road, but we're gonna be going into the wild. And I don't think there's gonna be much civilization for 2 to 3 hours. So we thought we'd take our chance to get a breather here, allow my heart rate to come down a little bit, because that was quite an exhilarating start to this adventure. Yeah, wow. I mean, firstly, the baboons, wow. But that thing was a blast to drive on those quite narrow, very twisty mountain roads. Like, I was just genuinely really enjoying driving it. It is easily, hands down, the best Defender I've ever driven, just dynamically. And the thing which is so impressive about that, because if you look at the stats, okay, fine, it's got that honking great engine and the 60 dynamic suspension, which was so impressive in the Range Rover Sport, but look at the wheels and tyres. This is on the smaller 20-inch rim with the all-terrain tyres, so that when we go off-road, it has some grip. That should mean that it's not good to drive on-road dynamically, but it's a specially developed tyre with Goodyear, and the fact that it was still engaging. It's got a much faster steering rack on it, this car, and you could notice that it actually turned in. It was, yeah, you could position it, I mean, wow, in a Defender. So yeah, glorious. Anyway, the sun is really now starting to come out, 22 or 23 degrees. So, delicious coffee, gonna have some food, continue to enjoy and explore. I wonder what other wildlife we might see. We did see a sign for leopards. Haven't seen any leopards yet, and I'm not sure I want to see a leopard. Maybe I could see one from the car. Gives an indestructible vibe to it, doesn't it, the OCTA? So I feel like if I did see a leopard, I'd feel safe. Now I feel like the adventure has begun. I have left the tarmac behind me, and you find me on a gravel road driving through South Africa. This is what I was most excited to do with this car. This morning was epic. I was super impressed by how good this car was on the tarmac, but this is what I dreamed of doing when I got the invite from Land Rover to come and check out this car, because this is what the OCTA was made for. It's about going stupidly fast and being insanely capable in these kind of situations. And so I've engaged OCTA mode, which is essentially dynamic mode, as we usually know it, but for loose surfaces. It does all the sort of normal stuff like improving throttle response, making the gear shifts faster, etc. But it sends, I think, 70% of the power to the rear, dials back traction control slightly, and even tweaks the ABS. Apparently, the quickest way to stop on a loose surface is get to the point where the brakes are nearly locking. So they just do that. It's a bit like cadence braking, really. So if I do this, it means you actually come to a stop. Probably should have checked the mirrors before that. I've got a huge dust cloud behind me, and no one would have been able to see if I'd come to a grinding halt, so that was pretty dangerous. But anyway, it is terrifying how much this car feels like it's just asleep. I think I'm flying, I'm doing 100 kilometers an hour, and the car's like, whatever. Honestly, all the power is available. It doesn't matter the fact that I'm on gravel. Just to prove that point, let me come down a couple of gears and floor it. It is hilarious, this thing. It is. I should not have this much fun doing my job, and it almost doesn't make sense that this is a car you can just go and buy and then also take to the shops. I'm catching a truck here, so I better slow down, use that ABS. Oh, this car is a freaking revelation. Do you ever have those moments where you realise something is going to be a core memory? I mean, this is going to be a core memory. I am never going to forget this experience. Look at this scenery, look at where I am, and look at the fact that I'm in sport mode. I mean, I'm in OCTA, sport on the gearbox, traction off. It is just outrageous, but these views, the colours out here in South Africa, it's so green. Oof. Just to have all that power under my right foot. I've been catching the support vehicle for a while now, so it's getting a bit dusty ahead. I actually have to back off a little bit so that I don't completely lose where I am, but that's probably a sensible thing because the road's got a little bit more intense and sketchy. Yeah, I can't help but just stare out the window constantly. It's so amazing. Oh, it is getting bumpy, but I have to tell you, even though this road is pretty hardcore, I still am quite comfortable, even on those really big, aggressive rocks and things. You can hear the car shaking and rattling. I'm not shaking and rattling, and that is largely down to this incredible suspension. The fact that I can put down all this power on these great tyres. Uphill, here we go. Oh.
The next morning, the man flu had sadly gotten the better of me. I woke up in the stunning Bushman's Kloof with absolutely no voice. But the benefit of not being able to talk was I had plenty of time to reflect on the OCTA and the experience I'd had with it. During this trip, a friend had messaged me asking me what I was doing in South Africa, and I told him I was there to drive the Defender OCTA. He asked what that was, and I explained it was the ultimate off-roading Defender. He made the very good point that aren't all Defenders ultimate off-roaders? To which I said, yes, but this one has 600 horsepower. He then asked, why do you need 600 horsepower off-road? Well, the answer is, you don't. But my God, is it a lot of fun. Like, way too much fun. The ability to apply all that performance on loose surfaces can't help but make you smile. I mean, how many people will actually take their £150,000 limited edition Octas flat out on gravel? I imagine a very small percentage. I mean, they're going to end up being used like most other SUVs for the school run or to go to swanky restaurants or just cruise around the city. The Octa is essentially Land Rover's version of the Mercedes G63 AMG. It's unbelievably capable, but most likely to be driven by a Kardashian. Strange thing is, though, even if you never take one of these things off-road, I think you could still make a case for owning this car. Because that engine and that 6D dynamic suspension has made the Octa better than any other Defender to drive on the road. So good, actually, that I think I'd have an Octa over a Range Rover Sport SV. I think the Defender's got more presence, more personality, and now more capabilities. You're getting very similar on-road performance, but with the added bonus that if you do get lost in South Africa, you're not really going to have a problem. Did we need a Defender Octa? No. Is it an insane amount of money over almost all other equally capable Defenders? Yes. But is it incredibly good fun and a fantastic car? I think so. So if you've got the money, dive in. This is the best Defender yet.